I have watched us meddle in elections, all the way back to Preval, his election, my first trip to Haiti, as you mentioned, Haiti. Preval didn't win that election, 2005. He didn't win that election. We just announced that he did. That was Condoleezza Rice's baby. That was her thing. In Mosul, the Nineveh province, Nineveh as in like the Bible, that's Mosul. Yeah, man, we put who we wanted in those positions, governors, mayors, police chiefs. We did all that to the point in which, like, if you wanted, we don't want this guy to be governor, I bet we could tie him to Al-Qaeda. If we tie him to Al-Qaeda, because the people hated Al-Qaeda. The reason we were there and Iraq was a shithole is because Al-Qaeda, right? Like, it went from Saddam, and your average Iraqi didn't dislike Saddam, right? Yes, of course, the Kurds hated him because he was so brutal to them, but they had a good relationship going. It was getting better, right? Saddam had figured out in his old age that it's better to cooperate than it was to try to exterminate them. This is a thing I've talked about it numerous times. I'm sitting in a restaurant in Dahouk, Iraq, and there's these two huge human beings sitting just down the bar. I mean, big boys, man. 6'4", 6'5", 300 pounds, just jacked. And we're just like, the
fuck are these guys?
Because I'm like a little dude on my team. Most teams, I'm an average sized dude, And these dudes are just huge. And of course, we're like, what's up, guys? What's going on? We start shooting the shit. And they're from South Africa. Well, when South Africans do contract work, they lose their citizenship, right? They can't go home. These dudes had been living in Baghdad since the mid-90s. They were former SAS guys. And they loved it. They were pissed at us for ruining Iraq. And they were like, what were y'all thinking? Baghdad was awesome, beautiful women, parties, because it was secular, right? Saddam wasn't a staunch Muslim, and he didn't force Shia law or any of that. It was Ba'athist party.
Yeah.
Americans weren't told that. We were told that Saddam's this evil human being. And maybe he did some evil shit, right? Of course he did. I mean, he certainly did, right? Not maybe. But we didn't invade because he was being mean to his neighbors and stuff. We invaded and took over Iraq to turn off his oil. Because at the exact same time, he was having talks with Russia and China and Iran and India and a couple of Asian producing oil companies or oil states, Indonesia, about removing the dollar from oil and creating the petrodollar. So in theory, the conspiracy theory is that couple that with the Bush family's vendetta, because supposedly Saddam tried to kill President Bush. That's questionable too. There's not a lot of information out there that actually supports that. And if they ever declassify, and they're not going to, Saddam's interview, freaking, there's a lot to be told there. The reason why he was so easy to invade the second time is because he didn't think we were going to. He thought George Bush was talking shit, rattling his saber, I think he says. Now, there is a movie coming out, and the initial interpreter who interviewed Saddam wrote a book, and now there's going to be a movie based on it. So maybe Americans will see it because Americans can't read or won't read. But that CIA interpreter wrote a book about his interview with Saddam. And in the book, he even talks about how they're going after him and stuff, and how the Delta guys and Rangers actually found him and all that stuff. And then the main bulk of it is about the interview or the interrogation. Really an interview, right? Because, I mean, Saddam, he knew he'd been caught. Yeah. The dude had been on the run for months, He was exhausted. So he just talked. And it's a very chill conversation. I've only seen parts of it, right? There's parts of it are classified that I couldn't see either. And that's where he exposes the lies of why we invaded Iraq.
That's
so
crazy.
You think the American public is demanding for that interview to be declassified?
I don't even think they know it exists.
It sucks, man. It fucking sucks. Especially like the letdown, like I said, I've never had a superhero, that guy I looked up to, but I see other people doing it. And, I was raised not super patriotic. Like my dad was really good, right? He's a Vietnam guy, right? And he wasn't like, his last stint was 18th Airborne Corps, 82nd Airborne. Hell, he helped stand up the freaking, the predecessor to the Golden Knights, the 18th Airborne Corps jump team and stuff. But he never was like, you should join the military in 82nd Airborne. Like he didn't have the hat, with the little things or whatever. He just went to work, man. And he didn't talk about it or anything like that, but he didn't preach one way or the other to me. And he also didn't really preach patriotism, but he didn't preach against it either. And obviously being in the South, right? Like we said the Pledge of Allegiance. I believe that Ronald Reagan was awesome growing up in the 80s because I was told that. And now I'm just let down.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at in life, man. I'm just disappointed, right?
Because
you seen that meme floating around where it's like, I don't know. I think it's like, it's a cartoon thing, but I posted it, reposted it, and it's basically like, I just wish I could go back to when I didn't know so.